I'm Casey Wilson, one of your co-hosts for the Do or Do Not podcast. And this is...
My name's Brad Erie, and if you're seeing this, that means I'm already dead.
There you go.
Just throwing it out there because one time it'll be true, and I just want to make sure this might be it.
I'll be like, hey, we went and were researching. We found a podcast where he said he was going to be dead, and then he died.
Anyway,
where were you on Wednesday at 1 o'clock? I was like, beating the shit out of Brad.
Yeah,
why
I
did
just
he
say
die?
that. So Casey's always going to be suspect number one. Just
There
going to
you
be
go.
like, if I die, it won't be because of this dude over here refuses to watch Children of Men.
Yeah,
And
I won't watch it.
speaking of refusing to watch, you blew up my whole thing we're going to do today, hence all the Star Wars out, because you didn't watch the last three of Andor.
Blew up my plans of just talking about Andor by binging it last night,
Of course.
instead of waiting.
I
So
did
now
my
we can't
homework.
talk about it because I've only watched 9 episodes, not all 12. So,
But
and that's the
Okay,
big trigger
sure.
right there. I actually watched a Star Wars.
That's what I was
Disney
gonna
Star Wars
say.
series.
you buried the lead. You watched Star Wars.
Yeah, well,
The Lost Podcast. You were no Disney, no nothing.
here's the problem. I was not going to watch any Disney Star Wars. And
Yeah.
then Kathleen Kennedy said she was stepping down before the end of the year.
Yeah.
August is what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. Bob Iger's now stepping down. I'm gonna take the hat off. I want to
Yeah,
stay straight.
just-
It keeps going. Because it's a very loose hat, so
Show-
it doesn't like rub my head or whatever. But
Show the gleans off
Yeah.
of each other's.
yeah, so I kind of like change. I go, all right, if she's actually leaving, now she's still going to be involved. She just
Yeah.
won't be the president anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm still suspicious. I wouldn't be shocked if all of a sudden, we
Yeah.
decided since Bob Iger now plans to leave, we're going to keep Kathleen Kennedy on and we're going to sign her on for another 3 years or 5 years and then I'm out. So she actually is no longer the president and they announce a new president of Lucasfilms. Then I'm glad Iger's leaving too. I think he's a piece of crap. They act like this new Thunderbolts movie was like God's gift and we're getting back to the old school stuff. And it's like, yeah.
Well, first of all, he has not watched it, so he's basing this off other people's opinions.
Well, I have to. Brad likes to run the movie theaters and watch stuff.
Yeah.
Like, look at Black Captain America's coming out in like May 28th, I think they said, or later this month. I didn't have to go to the movie theater. I'm going to watch it a few months after you watched it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, well, you mean you?
I had no interest.
You racist.
I am.
You're a racist.
Look.
It doesn't matter that you're married to a black woman. You're a racist.
Look.
You didn't go and support it. You went and saw Thunderbolts.
That's because I actually wanted to
There's
see
a bunch of
Thunderbolts.
whiteys in Thunderbolts.
Yes, but Thunderbolts had my favorite character.
Your liberal buddies are not going to like that, Brad.
The Sentry, and
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
yes, and
Bob.
crazy
Bob.
2
2 straight movies, 2 big blockbusters. His name Bob.
And then I kind of know through my nerd channels of how this is all going to set up with Fantastic Four, which those of us who've seen the movie know.
I'm excited about Superman. Fantastic Four can lick my anus.
I'm not really excited about
I'm
Superman.
not a Pedro Pascal fan of him being Reed Richards. I like the Invisible Woman, but she's in charge. Like Reed Richards, smartest guy in the universe.
But that's the way it is in the
The
comics.
Council of Reeds is now dominated by the Invisible Woman.
Well, first of all, in the comics, Reed Richards is so smart that he keeps his head in the clouds and doesn't know what's going on.
Not always. He led the
The
group.
wife-
But there are versions of the Fantastic Four
Yeah.
where the Invisible Woman, the wife, was in charge.
But
it's like
then
I-
it's
I get
leading
to-
to Doomsday.
here's the
bring
whole
it in.
here's the whole thing. We don't know that
Shoot it in my
everything that I've
face.
seen of the Fantastic Four, it looks visually appealing,
Yeah.
but the story sounds like crap.
No, I disagree.
I do not like the female Silver Surfer. I don't like it.
That's not our Silver Surfer.
I don't like it. I don't care that there once in a very small amount of issues was a female, of comics, there was a female Silver Surfer for them to fuck it up with.
Can I tell you why?
And I get Galactus just isn't like my favorite villain.
Oh, he's so good.
So it's not. I'm just kind of like,
So
Galactus.
I'm going to spoil because he's not going to watch it. Doesn't matter. So I'm going to spoil it. This Fantastic Four takes place in another dimension.
I've heard all the buildup. I've heard all the stories. They talk about it on some of the shows.
The reason why they cannot use the Norrin Rad Silver Surfers because they want him in 616 universe, aka our universe, and so they need someone that they can kill. In this,
there was other male Silver Surfers.
Well, not Silver Surfers. There's been other male heralds.
Yes,
but not the Silver Surfer.
You know what would have been cool? Make another herald.
Well, they might do it. That's what they're going to do in ours. They're going to save the best stuff for ours. This whole movie, Fantastic Four, is the way they're bringing in. I trust
Marvel about as far as I can trust freaking throwing Kathleen Kennedy with Disney Star Wars. That's about how much I trust Kevin Feige.
That's fair.
Because his recollection of what good movies are is foggy.
Well, okay, that was pretty clever. Not gonna lie. I do.
I accidentally said foggy.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, I gotta follow that up. I can't just let that hang there.
Again, according to my nerd, I follow this closer than I do Star Wars. So like you're in my wheelhouse now. What really led Marvel astray was Kevin was pulled into the Star Wars universe, writing and directing and trying to get his own Star Wars up, and did not have the controls for the last phase and a half.
Then he should have took his name off the placard.
No, that's money. So now he's back more in control.
Here's the problem. There's too much money and not enough artistry. There's not artists doing this stuff. There's not people that care about a good story being written and displayed on the screen.
But see, it's all bringing back. So you know how like they have like the Eternals.
You're gonna have to prove it.
No. I look. They're going to have to prove it. But this is what I know. All right. When Foggy wasn't there, they had no connective issues with these movies. Right? Eternals. You have this gigantic monolith coming out of the ocean. No one mentions it. Spider-Man. No one mentions the cloud of villains forming in the air with Doctor Strange. Like all of these movies were not connected. So when he was in control, it was all this tapestry of like, oh, one kind of movie led to another movie, and
then why did he keep the same role if he was going to go and start working on the project? He just said, I'm putting this guy in charge.
He didn't want to give up this role. He thought that his acolytes.
This is the problem is they're too big egos. Yes. The egos rule Hollywood and they won't give up any power to make good product. And then they wonder why their companies are tanking. Well, Disney is not doing good. Sorry, everybody. Disney is going in the shitter. It has been for a while.
Look, I'm just going to focus on Marvel.
Yeah, but that's Marvel is Disney.
I know, but listen.
Lucasfilms is Disney, and it all comes down to parks are doing bad, the movies are doing bad.
Unlike Star Wars, Kevin at least was like, you know what? The movies have gone to shit. I need to get back. He dropped the Star Wars. He got more involved.
I agree to that point.
And he got in the last little bit of the Black Captain America. Too late to do anything, but at least he forced them to mention this monolith celestial coming out of the ocean. It's like he got that, and then he started laying out his plan, which his plan is doomsday.
What did you think of the Eternals?
First of all,
just the movie on its own
wasn't that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad. I saw it at the movie theater.
If they would have plugged it in with some like other stuff,
that's it. There was no continuity, and it's almost like it didn't do good at the movie theater. But when you look at what its revenue in the first few weeks compared to what like a Thunderbolts revenue is, the difference is not that big. They're acting like Thunderbolts is great because they had such flops for the
Thunderbolts is doing really bad.
Look at the Marvels.
Yeah. Oh no, Thunderbolts is doing worse than Black Captain America.
Yeah, well, it may outlast and make more money.
It will because, and
then also they're not talking about all the reshoots. So Thunderbolts didn't have a bunch of reshoots.
Yeah, they did not.
When they talk about it's not what they're talking about is it's doing so good because they didn't do a bunch of reshoots. Yeah. They almost filmed 2 movies.
Oh yeah,
and then they try to act like all the reshoots was a whole separate movie.
Both movies weren't good.
No,
they weren't good.
I haven't watched it, but it did not. You know what? You know one of the reasons I haven't watched it? I didn't go see because all right. So Captain America is my favorite of Captain America and
Yeah.
Superman are my two favorite comic book characters, right? Batman's up there high. Thor was always up there. When I was a kid, I loved Hulk. I had Iron Man, action figures. But Captain America, my favorite all time. If you were to go, what's one superhero that's your favorite all time superhero?
Yeah.
It's Captain America. But it's Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
It's not the Falcon.
Well,
and then if you were to tell me who would you replace him with, I would go Bucky.
Yeah. Which he does in the comics.
Which it should be,
But
or you'd make another super soldier. I don't know, but you don't or you just retire him. Go, you know what, Captain America? I don't like that guy though. The Wyatt Russell character.
Yeah, in a Red Commando. The Red Commando.
Oh yeah, and then there's the old black guy.
Yeah. So what? Clearly, what Marvel's doing is Kevin came in here and says people are not buying these secondary characters that Marvel tried to pimp as the new A-list characters. The Black Captain America, the Marvels, Captain Marvel, all of them, who they're like, oh, just because Thor, Iron Man, and
why didn't people buy them?
Just because people love the Avengers for Robert Downey Jr., for Chris Evans being the main guys. Those were the main
One of the
characters.
most successful comics. And who watches comics and reads comics and watches movies?
Well, the X-Men are the most successful comics.
No. Who? I'm talking who consumes them at a higher percentage, a man or a woman?
Totally men. It's a
right.
men's field.
You show me Captain Marvel, I'm like, great. That's an actual character. She's super powerful.
Yeah.
Great. When you try to mix in and make a whole movie of woman superheroes, when you try to make all these superheroes and you do it on woke politics, I check out. I'm like, I don't need the Falcon becoming Captain America.
Yeah.
I wanted Bucky. But if they don't want to do Bucky and they want to then just retire the Shield.
Well, they are. The whole point of what they're doing now is they're moving away from the Avengers, and
you can't erase what they've done though so far. They can re-go their path, but guess what? Robert Downey Jr. is getting pretty damn old.
No. What they're doing is they're pivoting it away from the Avengers as we know them. They're moving away from.
I've seen all the crap. I just don't believe it until I see it. They have to prove it. The Russo brothers have had a bad track record since leaving Marvel,
which is
maybe they've lost their fastball.
I don't know. The more I read about what they're doing,
it sounds like here's what I've been hearing all that same stuff, but what I'm sitting there going is it sounds like they got too much going on. No. Just like, you know what? The one time when Thanos comes with all of his, I just went back and rewatched Infinity Wars and Endgame a few weekends ago.
Movie.
So good. I love it. Those two movies are so awesome when you watch them back to back together. When you put all of this, you start putting too many characters, just like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
A lot of characters, but they didn't spend a bunch of time trying to develop those characters.
They're not going to develop the Doomsday. I could tell you what Doomsday is about.
You say that, but all these actors and all these characters, when you start meshing too many stories in there, you lose focus of what's a good written film that makes you care about what's going on. Because you gotta remember, there's comic book nerds out there that are going to understand what's going on, but the general public wants to see a good movie, and they're going, "Oh, I want to see Robert Downey Jr. He's playing a bad guy now," and all great. But they won't go back and see it again if they go, well, what the hell did this? What was this? And what was that? It sounds like they're getting too deep into bullshit and minutia.
They're not.
We'll see. I could be wrong.
I'll tell you.
You're over here. Casey, the Acolyte is so good. So believing you and your feelings about it are hard to believe too.
Me talking about comics is like you talking, or it's a lot different than me talking about Star Wars.
I grew up reading comics. I just checked out in the 90s. I grew up at comics.
One of the most exciting storylines of the last 20 years in comics is when Dr. Doom gained control of the entire existence in the multiverse, which is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And he started smashing planets to make the ultimate Doom thing. So when you read the 90s X-Men, which are my favorite comic book movies, where the X-Men 2 is probably one of my favorite comic book movies of all time.
Very good.
They're fighting to save their worlds. So Doom is taking the 90s X-Men world and he's going to smash it with another world. And you're going to watch their X-Men try to save their world, and you're going to watch this other group of Avengers try to save their world, and they're all going to die.
I'm familiar.
And then they're going to smash it all in what's going to be the new 616. And that's how you're going to have the Fantastic Four. That's how you're going to get rid of all the Avengers they don't like. That's how you're going to redo the X-Men. That's how you're going to bring it all together.
How do you know that they're going to get rid of the ones that you don't like?
Money.
I don't know. Then why did they spend so much money on the Marvels?
Because that was not Kevin.
Oh, now it's his name's on there as
of course. He's not
the president of Marvel and the executive producer in charge.
Right. Look, he's not turning down those paychecks. I'm
sorry. You have to, if you're going to take credit for something, you got to take credit. You can't say, "Oh, it wasn't him. It was him."
Look, I'm not taking credit away from him. He was not hands-on. He took the blame for it. He said that he misfired. He said he let things go not the way he wanted, and he went back and he's doing it again.
If you eat enchiladas before a workout and you have a shitty performance, and you go, well, it's my wife to blame for it because I really wasn't in charge that day because she brought enchiladas to the house.
Well, you know what? It is her fault.
Look,
I know I don't have to speak for Kevin Feige. He said it himself that he fucked up,
and I agree with him that he fucked up. And he's in charge of all the fuck ups, not the people he put in charge.
Kathleen Kennedy come and say, "Hey, I fucked up."
Kathleen Kennedy is a narcissistic, nasty, horrible human being.
So what's the
who
difference?
Would never admit anything. That's why I'm giving Kevin Foggy.
I bought in
a chance. Because I'm holding out. I haven't stopped watching. Now, did I stop? I wanted to watch The Skeleton Crew. I thought it looked like a cute show. No, I don't want to not watch Star Wars. I love Star Wars. They're such a shit show.
Yeah.
That you got one offshoot, which has been Andor. And the original season was good. I give it kudos. The same guy did this series. I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy, he basically has a contract where she isn't fucking with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
He gets creative control. He goes, if you want me to do this stuff, I get creative control.
Do it all.
He said it himself. So she can't go. She could tighten the purse strings if she wanted to, which I heard she did. They had bigger plans for Andor, and they tightened the purse strings. Disney did, it's not Disney. It's Kathleen Kennedy tightened the purse strings.
At least
they had some big ideas of things they wanted to do and bring people in and do things, and it would have cost too much money, so they said no.
So I give Kevin credit that he admitted he was wrong. He went in. He's starting to fix.
I give him credit. Again. I give him all the credit in the world, but now he has to prove it again.
Which is why I went and saw Thunderbolts. I read about this is his first thing to try to get the universe back to being connected and on track, and I see where they're going, and I'm like, okay, you got me again. I was excited. I will see some Thunderbolts again. I thought it was great. I'm excited for you to watch it on Disney Plus someday and say, yeah, it was really good. It was much better than the last crap that they've sent out.
The next movie I see at the movie theater will be Superman.
I'm nervous about Superman.
I'm not. I have a feeling. I look at it this way. Now, James Gunn is an egomaniac. I give him that, but he's a super talented egomaniac.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I've heard they just came out with some screenings.
Yeah.
And apparently those screenings, people were crying at certain points.
I hope.
Excited, screaming and yelling. At the end of the movie, we're very happy. So I'm holding out.
I hope. But I don't know.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because let's look at Guardians of the Galaxy. All those movies were good.
Yeah, but again,
the first one was the best, but the other two were good. They're enjoyable movies.
They got worse as they went along.
Suicide Squad, good.
Suicide Squad was really good.
Peacemaker
was his best.
I love Peacemaker. But I'm so excited about season 2.
The thing I worry about Superman.
You see Frank Grillo's going to be in season 2? He's the Oh, that's awesome, isn't it? He's such a good actor.
I'm more excited about Peacemaker season 2 than I am about Superman. And let me tell you why. Now I want
to go that far. I'm excited about Superman. Like I'm apprehensive, like you say.
The
but I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I have some faith in James Gunn's Superman. That's what it should be called. I should say James Gunn above the Superman because he is above all the characters in it.
I am still
such an egomaniac.
I loved Man of Steel.
I love Man of Steel. Henry Cavill should still be Superman. That's the only mistake they made.
My problem with James Gunn is he likes to keep things really silly and really kid friendly. And when I see that, like, the biggest selling point of this $250 million movie is a CGI puppy, Crypto, with a cape, I wanted to barf. I was like, oh my God. Okay.
No, I love Crypto. I
am a dog lover.
My son loved the cartoons, Crypto the Super Dog. Outstanding show. And the dog's not even Superman's, it's Supergirl's. He's just watching the dog for her.
It doesn't matter.
Why she's off planet or something.
The problem I have with the movie is that he's doing what a lot of DC does. It's like, we just can't have Superman on his own. We need 57,000 other characters with him. I'm like, just give me, for the love of Christ, a Superman movie with Superman and let him go all out as Superman. Like, you have Luke Skywalker. Just give me an Omega version of Luke Skywalker. Just one movie of him standalone. No, we got to have Supergirl.
No,
we got to have Crypto. We have to have this. Like, no, Zack Snyder did not need 17 heroes in his Superman movie. You know why? He's fucking Superman.
I know, but that's not the universe he's building.
I don't need it all. Let that be in the sequel.
You know what I'm the most excited about of everything out? You know what I'm the most excited about? He's building a universe, so he needs to add these characters in so he can include them in other things.
The best thing about Marvel is that they had like one Iron Man movie with Iron Man, and they had Captain America, and then they had like Thor, and then they had them all together.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you, but
have them all.
You can't continue to keep rehashing the origin story.
No, you don't have to do the origin story.
And him becoming this. I mean, go watch Smallville if you want that, okay? One of the best shows ever made.
Can we just talk about Kristen Kirk for a second?
Who?
Lana Lang of Smallville. Her name was
Kirk.
I don't know. It's been 20 years.
I think it's Kirk. Her last name is C-R-U-K.
It was like K-R-U-C-K. Yeah, something like that.
But yeah.
She's still a smoke show 25 years later.
Oh, yeah. Allison Mack.
Not bad for a gang leader and a pedophile, but other than that.
You know.
So.
Well, you know that she dragged Lana in there too, or Christian.
Yeah, right. It's just, like, I get what you're saying. And I like what he's doing for his universe.
Yeah.
The casting, all of that, perfect. I'm like, but
the Guy Gardner character is dead on. I mean,
yeah.
Nathan Fillion,
so good. And I like all that, but like, I just want one movie before you start jamming everything together. Just be like, you don't have to tell the origin story. We already know he's already a reporter, and just be like, something massive happens, and Superman's like, I'm the only one that can battle this massive thing.
He is the only one that can battle these
things. Lex Luthor.
The other guys are out there, but he's going to be there saving his ass, or they're going to come in when he needs his ass.
Crypto saved him.
After he got his ass whooped, but not in a fight.
All right,
I dragged him to the.
I will see it in a movie theater.
They've said that Crypto is not a huge part. That we saw most of what Crypto is. There's only a few more scenes with Crypto in it.
I will see the movie in the movie theater, and I really hope that
I'm 10 times more excited for Superman than I am for Fantastic Four. 10 times more excited.
No, I can't wait for everyone on that
I won't see Fantastic Four unless you and others come out and say that Fantastic Four was a banger.
Yeah,
it's not even you, because you think everything's a banger.
That's kind of true.
I mean, you tried to convince me after 3 episodes that The Acolyte was the greatest thing ever, and I'm like, dude, are you watching the same show as I'm watching?
Look, all I cared about was lightsabers, and I got lightsabers.
Holy shit! But
then
you got to care about the story and
at
the incongruencies in the show.
At the end, I came to your side.
I only watched it because of you.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to watch it at all.
And then at the end of it, I swung to your side. But in original, I'm like, oh my God, seeing lightsabers again? I was so excited.
I'm all for it if they do a good show that's like a piece of shit. Like, that's what you're missing in Andor. But it's good. You don't have to have lightsabers in every single Star Wars thing. I like how they did I like how he stole the TIE Interceptors. We
Yeah.
got to see a real life TIE Interceptor for the
Yeah.
first time, not a cartoon one.
I like how you see the form of the resistance and Yavin base, like how that starts to evolve.
Yeah. My only problem is there's all these people coming and going, and it's supposed to be the super secret base. It's
Well,
not, guess what?
I can't ruin it.
If the
I
ISB,
can't ruin it.
if
Oh
the-
no!
if the ISB was really that good, they would have infiltrated that
Oh
base.
man, he's trying to get me to ruin it.
Anyway,
The final three. I'll just say that is mentioned.
yeah. Well, we'll
That
see
is
how
brought up.
they'll see how they try to wrap that around, like, and get rid of those issues.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited about those movies. We weren't even going to talk about that stuff.
No, but this is how good we just. This
Yeah.
is us just working
Yeah,
out.
you screwed me up by going. Oh,
I know.
dude. I stayed up to 1 a.m. watching them. You know, it's like
I just want to say that the thing
some
I
of us
really
have to get
like
up early in the morning.
Thunderbolts is they have my favorite character. For those who don't know, and this isn't anything ruining in the movie, but
I've heard good things. I
the
mean,
Sentry
I liked what I've seen so far. Sentry's not my favorite character.
was a 90s gay character. They
No wonder you like him.
I didn't say gay. I said gag. There was a comic book.
You said gay.
There was a
He's
magazine.
androgynous, right? He never has a relationship in the comics, does he?
No, he's a man, but he's schizophrenic.
Yeah, he has like a good, the bad, the
void.
And to only make him the full power, he has to be able to control the void, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I remember.
There was this
I
magazine.
read comics. I just was not a comic nerd.
There was Wizard magazine that was out in the 90s, and they got together with Marvel Comics and said, hey, we had this idea to create this character that has been forgotten for 50 years. And they hired artists to pretend like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created him in the late 50s and forgot about him. And as Stan Lee acted like, as he was cleaning his office, he found these files of the thing of the Sentry. And the Sentry was so powerful that like everyone, like they killed everyone who knew about him, and he was forgotten. And they're like, don't tell this guy he's the Sentry because he is the most powerful, superhero that's ever been created. And of course, he remembers, and he starts off as a good guy. He gets to be a government stooge, and then he just starts whooping. He went and destroyed all of Asgard and killed every Asgardian in a day. Just took them all out. Thor, Odin. He ripped Iron Man in half.
No, that never happened. It's not canon.
Oh, it's
It
canon.
never happened.
Thor brought him back.
Canon is who destroyed Asgard?
Look, Asgard's been destroyed a lot. I have the comic that he
No.
destroyed Asgard.
There's only one canon way that Asgard got destroyed, which was silly and stupid. But anyway,
now this is
that would have
canon.
been way better if there's other destructions of Asgard that were better. But unfortunately, canon wise, we got a shit one.
Yeah, but he took out Thor, took out Odin, killed all of them, took Asgard to heaven, the Asgardian gods, threw it in the middle of Kansas, killed them all, and the void came out, and everyone was like, oh shit. Like, he beat up the Hulk, like, he's just massive, and he's just crazy. And then there's this scene in the Thunderbolts where they're trying to fight this guy as Bob's starting to learn his powers. It is one of the best action scenes I've ever seen. Just how strong and massive this guy is. Like, just how powerful. Just in all levels. And I'm like, they got it right. Thank God they got it right. Like, I was afraid they were going to girlify him or make him a wussy or, all woke in his feelings. They let Bob be Bob. And it was terrifying. And I was like, that's all I wanted. It's like, it's good to have a true, I loved it. I'm so excited.
So you felt the movie was good because of that?
No, I felt the touch of Kevin saying, we're not fucking up this guy because he was going to drag this out. My feeling is no one can beat Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom unless it's Bob. Bob is so powerful. He's the only one that can make a god-like Doom like fight on equal terms. And I think the way that Thunderbolt sets up Bob is that he is going to be the key to the next 2 Avengers movies. That him and Doom are going to be the last 2 that have to fight. Because Doom is going to be so powered up that he's going to be throwing realities together. No one can fight him. Only one with the strength is a schizophrenic Bob.
But
Sentry.
what has been the strength of Marvel since the beginning?
Look,
is it Superman? Or is it a team?
Team.
Okay, so if they make it into, then you're all of a sudden you're trying to be. The only reason Sentry's around is because of Superman. Let's be honest. They want to develop a Superman character.
Well, they did that before that.
What is Bob's weakness?
That he's psychotic.
Does he have kryptonite?
No weakness. His only weakness is that he's psychotic and the void. That's his only weakness. He has nothing. Like, he can move a mountain with his mind. He could punch the moon out of orbit. He's like the maxed up everything. His only weakness is that he's a fragile shell of a human.
I don't like.
That's his biggest flaw, is that he is just this.
Thanos is not.
Thanos could probably take him with the things.
All right, so when he has the Infinity Gauntlet,
yeah,
Thanos is super powerful. But
yeah.
there's ways that you can beat him as a team. If you can stop him from getting the stones, or also stop. There was a way out.
Yeah,
stopping him from doing this or cutting his hand off.
Yeah,
like if Thor would have cut his arm
gone
off.
For the head, Thor. Yeah, totally. Well, the only way
if you have superpowered Doom, which I like the idea, but there has to be like an Achilles.
There will be, because he's going to lose.
Well, of course.
But I think Sentry's going to sacrifice himself to give the team a shot. That's how I just look at it.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong, but the Sentry could be taken down by Robert Downey Jr. or anybody who's really smart, because they could just break him mentally. Like, that's his thing. Like, Marvel at the time wanted a character that was so strong that could be good and bad, that everyone's like, don't fuck with him. Like, say his name right, whatever, and then you could control him because he's dumb as a box of rocks, and he's just like this mentally broke person. And like some low-level, D-level villain could be like, hey man, like, how's your mom doing? Because like his mom died brutally, and he would just start crying. And like, he's the world's strongest mega villain, and so they went to someone you can't beat physically, you have to beat him mentally. And that's what the Sentry was. And it was good to see them play that up. I'm excited for you to see it. You might be like, yeah, it's better, but it's still shit. Or you might be like, hey, it's better, way better than what I thought.
It might be. I can't.
But it was good that they
stay open-minded, especially Kevin Feige. I'm giving him a lot more. So Kathleen Kennedy is down here.
Oh my
the
God.
Person that I hate more than anybody on the face of the earth. He's up here. Now, is he up here? No, he's came down a lot of levels.
At 2019,
he's got
so up here.
He's got to build it up, man. He's got to.
They just kept dropping.
Dude, Infinity Wars and Endgame, I loved so much. There's such a great movie and moving, and all the build up for the years getting to him.
Yeah.
And then Marvel shit the bed after that. And you can say he wasn't this and he wasn't that. Guess what? The reason why Thunderbolts isn't blowing up and it's a good movie is because a lot of people like me have lost faith in Marvel and they don't want to see the same bullshit.
That's 1,000%.
So they won't go to the movie theater.
1,000%.
They're going to have a bunch of great banger movies over and over again to get us to go, it's must see. I got to go watch it on opening night, or I got to go watch it opening weekend. I'm not going to watch Thunderbolts in the movie theater.
Kevin,
why am I going to spend that money to go do that?
Kevin Feige, he said his 3 biggest errors was
Miss Marvel.
No.
The Marvels.
Bigger than that was taking away and trying to do the TV by himself under the movie blanket and having too many TV shows, spread them too thin. Being asked to help out with the Star Wars because Star Wars was floundering, and giving up control of the movies, the Marvel movies. And he's like, he stopped doing TV shows. They're, I think, only rolling out maybe 1 to 2 TV shows a year now, and he's not in control of them. He stopped with the Star Wars, and he's focusing back on the movies to get them where he left them off after I think the last one he was really involved in was the Spider-Man with the 3 came back. The names are all so familiar that I can never figure them out.
No Way Home.
Yeah. Good job. Good pull. And
My
so,
son loves Spider-Man way more
Yeah.
than I do. I'm not anti-Spider-Man, but I'm not a huge.
So he realized he fucked up and let the Marvel movies. And I know I've been bragging about Thunderbolts, and none of my nerd friends who are comic book friends they're all like you. They're like, yeah, I'll watch it when it streams because like I don't want to go pay. Like I'm not paying.
You've lost.
They have to earn it
Why
back.
do you think I refused? I said I'm not watching anymore. I said now I've watched Andor, obviously.
Yeah.
But Andor is an offshoot.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy says she's gone.
It doesn't count.
It's his own thing. You know, Tony Gilroy had his ability to do whatever he wanted within the budget.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and he put on a banger of a show. Well, let's not say that. You know my feelings. We won't get it. We'll do a whole separate show on Andor next week.
Yeah.
But you could cut half the movie out. I mean, half the TV show. You could cut it from 12 episodes to 6, and it would probably be way better. Those 6 episodes would be so much quality. I would probably be like, this is the best thing that's ever been made. Unlike like everybody in Hollywood, because they actually have a Star Wars movie or show or movie that's actually good. They're like slobbering on it like there's nothing wrong with it. It should win every award. Guess what? There's a lot of episodes you can go, let's get rid of that episode. It doesn't do anything for the whole series. I mean, there's so much wasted dialogue, wasted space. Why do we need this character? Why are we spending so much time developing these crappy characters? So I'm interested to see the final 3 episodes because I had a feeling like when I got done watching 7, 8, 9, I went, all right.
Yeah.
I think these final 3 episodes next week are going to be bangers, and I haven't had a chance to watch it because it just came out last night.
I'm watching Rogue One tonight. I'm excited to carry it over and see how close they do it.
Yeah, so I'm excited about watching it tonight, but I'm still on my thing where if Mandalorian and Grogu sucks, and that's Dave Filoni, it's all Dave Filoni, baby.
Yeah.
If it sucks, I'm out.
Yeah.
Ahsoka season 2 sucks. I'm not even going to watch it. If Mandalorian and Grogu sucks, I won't watch Ahsoka season 2.
I'm in because it's Thrawn versus Akbar. I'm in.
I can't do it because
I know you can't. I'm a sucker for pain. I'm a Cleveland sports fan.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. My team has won 3 Super Bowls at least.
Yeah. Humble brag.
You know, so they've sucked, but although they're not really my team, I haven't rooted for them for a long time. But the one team that I've rooted for my whole life.
You're not alone.
Although, have you seen the pictures that came out today?
Of what?
Nicolas Cage is John Madden and Christian Bell is Al Davis.
Yeah.
The Madden movie they're making.
I'm in.
I saw that picture and I got chills and I went, I'm watching that.
Yeah.
I'll be there opening weekend for that. If I don't know if it's on movies or on TV or whatever, but I'll watch it as soon as it comes out.
I'm getting excited for these movies coming out. The Thunderbolts was the first Marvel movie that I was excited to see since the last Spider-Man. Some of the other ones I just saw because I felt like I owed it because I put so much investment into it. But like Thunderbolts, I'm like, I want to see it, and I'm glad because it ties in Fantastic Four, and so I'm like, okay,
have a Fantastic Four better be great.
Bit better. I'm telling you,
it better be great.
Marvel has such a minuscule amount of rope left that people are holding on to, and if any one of these movies bomb, it'll be gone. They have so much put into
Doomsday. Like, if they want people to come back and watch Doomsday, Fantastic Four has to be at least as good as Thunderbolts, like mid at least.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To be.
It has to do better financially than the Thunderbolts, but it has to be like at least like for people like you to start getting me convinced that I should go watch Doomsday in the theater.
Yeah,
because right now I'm not convinced I'm going to go watch Doomsday in the theater.
Yeah.
Now, if I watch Thunderbolts and I go, okay, I feel a little bit of that old feel of Marvel, you know, like my balls are tingling a little bit for Marvel, you know. But
no, I walked out and I almost texted you. I'm like, I cannot wait for you to see it when it streams on Disney Plus. Like, I want to so hear what your thoughts about it, good or bad. Like, you're the one that Marvel's trying to get back. I'm already back. You're the exact person that Marvel's like trying to.
Let me tell you,
sorry, I fucked up.
The new Daredevil,
did
not get me back. What a discombobulated piece of shit that was. I mean, I get
Kristen
it.
Ritter coming back.
Yeah,
Jessica Jones.
I'll give her that. I like
Punisher
her.
is going to be there.
I like
all of
Punisher.
season two.
Punisher. The best parts of
Bullseye.
Daredevil were Punisher.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was it. The best parts, Punisher was in every single good part of Daredevil.
The last episode was like, okay, finally we're getting some action again.
I mean, it was, and I understand it was even shittier until Feige came in and tried to fix it.
Yeah.
And so
that was
everybody says it was even more woke woman power bullshit.
It was, well, remember, Daredevil slept with the She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. All right. So my Ohio's coming out. I say Hawk.
Which was a total embarrassment.
And he was in his yellow costume.
She-Hulk was an embarrassment. Look at what I'm saying about Marvels. When you get this money, like She-Hulk, the Marvels, Black Captain America, the Eternals, they have shit the bed so much. I'm like, oh, they're going to shit the bed again. Why am I going to spend money to watch them shit the bed?
So the way that 90% of Daredevil was filmed was an episodic lawyer show. Every episode would be another case that
I watched it and it was shit.
Yeah. And then Kevin came in and goes, where isn't he in his uniform? And he immediately got Kevin Page, Foggy back in. Just for Foggy for that one scene.
Yeah.
But Kevin Page now is going to be in for the rest of the episode.
Kevin Foggy.
Well, no. I mean, what's her name? I said Kevin Page.
Karen.
What's her name? Karen. See, I got fog on the brain. Get it? Foggy brain. She's back. Punisher's back. They're bringing Jessica Jones in. I'm like, okay. He's like, I should have just let the HBO or whatever that was.
Netflix.
Netflix just keep doing it.
I liked every single one of those series. Now, Iron Fist was mid.
That was mid.
Luke Cage was really good for half a season, and then I think it started. I like Jessica Jones. Dude, David Tennant.
Oh, was he not terrifying as a bad guy?
He is the best. I mean, he's one of the best Doctor, hands down. I mean, if you're gonna watch The Doctor, there's only 2 real Doctors. Let's be honest. Now, there's all the old classic ones, and I've watched some of those. But you got David Tennant and Matt Smith. Those are your 2 people that are you recognize as Doctor Who. If you ask 90% of Doctor Who fans, they're either their favorite's going to be my daughter's favorite is Matt Smith. My son's and I's favorite is David Tennant.
What happened to the guy who wore the scarf? That's who I grew up with.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, he had this colorful scarf. I don't know.
Number like 6 or 7 or something.
I haven't watched Doctor Who in so long.
I watched Doctor Who all the way up through the old dude.
You didn't watch the woman one?
No. I watched one episode and said, I'm out. And then I watched the Christmas special with the black one, and I thought I liked him as an actor.
Yeah,
and I like his personality as being Doctor Who because he's kind of just a big personality, right? And Doctor Who has to be a big personality, but also have a real serious side. But he doesn't play. I watched a couple episodes with him. My son liked him. He didn't like the female very much, but he liked because she's just not Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a female be Doctor Who, but she has to have a different personality.
Makes sense. If you have like 70 years worth of...
David Tennant and Matt Smith are 2 different actors and people, but they
Matt
still
Smith.
played that happy, flamboyant kind of Doctor Who, but also like, I'll fuck you up too. I'll go to dark places if I have to.
See, when you say David Tennant, all I think is Good Omens, which I love.
Oh, they made a season 2. I think they're already done making it.
Yeah.
My son is so jacked up to
they only made it one movie, though.
Oh, did they?
Because the guy who wrote it, what's his name, was...
I thought they were making another season.
They were making another season, and then the guy who wrote it, what's his, Neil Smith or whatever, I can't think... You know how many names. The author who wrote that was like... Me Too, like a bunch of women came out and said they were raped and all this other stuff, and he said he was sorry. And then the 2 actors playing it, like, I don't know if we want to do this. So they made that season 2 into abbreviated movie.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Well, my son won't be happy about that.
I know.
That's one of his favorite shows.
I love that show.
He loves Good One. He's watched it like a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's so good.
My son watches the same things over. He watched a bunch of anime. He's an anime freak.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he's really my son. He's just in your.
Yeah, he's nothing like me. Him and I we like some similar stuff.
Son, let's watch.
Him and I are definitely not the same,
Yeah.
but he's awesome. He's a great person.
That's why you're such a good dad. As you put up.
But he watches like his favorite show of all time is like Psych.
Yeah,
I mean that kid has watched, and there's a lot of Psych episodes.
Yeah,
that kid's watched every one of them at least 6 or 7 times.
That was me with Scrubs. Like they just go down.
I never
easy.
could get into Scrubs.
It's just easy. You can kind of watch it.
Letterkenny. I've watched Letterkenny all the way through.
You got me into Letterkenny.
I've watched it all, and now Shoresy. I've watched Letterkenny all the way through 4 times. And there's 11 seasons now. They're short episodes, which is great. So you can power through them pretty fast.
I'm like, what's it? You keep talking about them, and then I watched. I think I've watched. I don't know if they were in order, but I probably watched 1,000 episodes.
You got to watch season 1 right through to season 11. And then when you get done with that, then you watch Shoresy.
All right, I have to watch Shoresy.
Shoresy is one of the best characters, like small characters. It's also played by the main character.
Yeah.
Wayne is also Shoresy. And that's why they never show his face.
It's so funny.
It's the best. It's the writing is so good. The dialogue is so good.
Have you ever watched?
So quick-witted and fast, and it's just awesome. But anyway,
I got one show I got to talk to you about.
All right. You know what I was thinking earlier is I had something brought up to me about a really funny movie that's one of my favorite all-time comedies. And I was like, we never have talked. We did a lot of sci-fi and action stuff, but we never like made a list for comedies.
Oh my God, that would be hard.
Comedy movies of all time.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be brutal.
We were discussing because one of my mom, and she recently passed. One of my mom's favorite movies was Great Outdoors, and it's one of me and my sister's favorite movies. And then obviously she watched it with my stepdad, and we were talking about it a little bit today. We started like quoting lines, and so Big Bear chase me,
there's so many good movies. I'd have to separate them by like decade.
I would say Great Outdoors is in my top 5. It could be number 1. I'm just saying. Chasing Amy. You ever watch Chasing Amy?
Yes. Huge Kevin Smith fan.
Kevin Smith's one of my favorite. Clerks and Chasing Amy would probably be in that top 10. Maybe top 20. Maybe we should do a top 20 for comedy.
Yeah.
No honorable mentions though, just a top 20.
Where's that show I want to talk to you about?
This is dead air, man.
I know. Well, you're talking. Keep
talking. Chasing Amy when they do the Star Wars stuff in there.
But like all those people were like, he's just a janitor. Like, I'm just doing garbage.
It's like Darth Vader is just an angry black man. That part of it. The black guy was coming out there, and he fake shot the guy and for like publicity and stuff. It was hilarious. I love Chasing Amy. You're just an inker. You're just a tracer. All right, man. You gotta find this quick.
Found it. I think you should leave now. I think you should leave with Tim Robinson. Have you ever seen that?
Tim Robbins?
I think you should leave on Netflix. Watch just 2 episodes.
I think you should leave. What's it about?
Maybe I've seen it. It is very much like the shows you love.
I might have seen it.
It is just this awkward comedy.
Sounds familiar.
Yes.
Nope, I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, it is so. Oh yeah, you got to watch it. Just 3 episodes, and if you don't like the 2 episodes in, you'll be like, yeah, I don't have to watch it. They're fast. They're less than 30 minutes.
It sounds really familiar.
It is. My favorite. I see it in Twitter all the time. For people who don't know, he goes in. He's in this line of like McDonald's. He's like, yeah, I'm going to buy the guy behind me, a coffee. Like I'll pay his bill. And the guy, okay, pass it on. And then he swings around, cuts off this other lady so he can be the guy who's now going to pay for the next guy. He goes, I want 55 cheeseburgers, 55 hamburgers, 55 milkshakes, and all of that stuff. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, comedian, very funny. Check it out.
So anyway, today was a kind of a mismatch. We started we straight Marvel, DC.
Yeah, we just,
got back to the roots, baby. Star Wars and comic books.
Blew an hour out like it was nothing.
I know. Well, we haven't done this in a while. So I think we're going to talk about some deeper topics in upcoming episodes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have some questions for you.
This one went longer than planned and stuff, so we're going to have some upcoming episodes that'll be different.
We're going to crack.
We
that head
actually
open
we actually filmed quite a few episodes, and then I got sick.
Oh, I was sick.
He got sick. Then I got I got sick with a stomach flu, and then allergies got bad, and I got an upper respiratory thing where I still have a little bit of cough a month later.
It's not easy being old, man.
Yeah, well, the allergy thing happened. This is the third year in a row. I got it just drains into my throat and then gets in my chest, and then
that's what she said.
So it was kind of a rough time there to get. Like last week, we were going to film an episode, but I was still coughing too heavy, so I can't sit here and just like cough nonstop.
And Lord knows I'm not going solo again.
Yeah,
I thought about it.
Nope.
Lord knows.
Nope.
That's too hard.
So we'll have a lot of cool episodes coming up where we're talking about things.
Yeah.
We'll do a top 20 comedies.
Yeah.
And then we'll.
I'm gonna split mine between like 10 old school, 10 new school.
You get 20.
Yeah,
you can decide what you want to break them up. I'm going best, my favorite, all the way down to my 20th favorite.
Okay.
That's how you should do a top 10 list or top 20 list.
I know. It's so
we just
hard.
always have too many honorable mentions, so we should just say,
all right,
let's do 20, no honorable mentions. Just 20. You can't mention anything else.
Boom.
That's it. So we'll do one of those. Those are always popular episodes too. People like the top.
I know.
The top list, the top 10s, the top 20s.
Well, wrap this up, man. Put the logo down there with his website.
We are sponsored by My Business because nobody else sponsors us. RosevilleSC.com, Roseville Strength and Conditioning. And if you have any health or fitness issues or things that you want help or advice with,
better hurry up and get them in.
If you live in the Roseville area
or online,
or Sacramento area, you can see me in person. And if you don't, you can do my online training program. And it is a comprehensive, focused program where I work with you over distance.
Shirtless.
Not shirtless.
Pantsless?
None of that.
All
so
right.
I will look about the same as I look sitting here. I'm always sitting on the other side of the desk where I normally sit in front of my computer.
If you pay the premium, you get me shirtless.
What is this, OnlyFans?
That's right. Look, I will send SL feet pics. We need anything for likes and subscriptions.
Anything for that.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good week.
Out.